All right. So we got like almost 1 more minute before the stream starts. I know I just like started this up, but I'm just kind of sending out like the info to like my platforms and stuff. So just bear with me for like just a sec and then we'll get this stream started. All right. So yeah, if anybody pops in, we're going to be drawing Phoenix, aka Jean Grey today. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just adding to my story and stuff like that. Okay, so I got it on Instagram. Boom. I do this like every stream. All right, so the stream is about to get started. So give me just a sec. I know it's 3 o'clock, but I really do want to just kind of send these last minute to friends and peoples. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay. Hopefully I can do this before 301 gets. All right. So it's 3 o'clock. The stream has officially started, and today we're going to be drawing Phoenix, aka Jean Grey, in Marvel Rivals, but a Marvel character in general. So I'm going to draw this solo character. Technically, this is like two different characters, and I'm gonna leave out of this right quick. Do not save, and I'm gonna start a new file, right? So I'm gonna do. I want to say it's 1350 by 1080. I want to say that's what it is. And this is pretty much okay. I did it backwards. 1080 by 1350. Give me one sec. Okay, 1080 1350. And the reason I'm doing this specific size is because it's like an 8 by 10. And I really like to do that when I'm drawing, specific characters and not like a general kind of landscape drawing. So give me just a sec. And I'm gonna pull up, I have a reference here. I'm gonna import image. And I wanna say, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so this is the reference I'm using. So give me one sec. I'm gonna try to enlarge this. Whoop, jeez. All right, all right, all right, all right. So yeah, this is basically the reference I'm using. So I'll kind of be referring to that. This is the Marvel Rivals version of Jean Grey, and that's predominantly what I'm working with. So give me a sec. Let me send the stream to like one or two. Well, actually, no, no. I'll just rock with it. But let's see. Now my game plan with this is basically to draw this one character. I know I've drawn like multiple characters in the other videos, but I just want to like get this one and draw it in my own style. So this, give me a sec. But yeah, this live stream shouldn't be as long as the other ones. That I estimate it'll probably be about like 4 hours maybe. Whereas the other ones are like upwards of six, maybe like 5.5 to like 7 hour live stream. So this one will probably be a shorter one since it's one character, and I don't think I'll do too much in the background. I want to do Blade later and like make her and Blade into like one piece. So I know I've done like a lot of talking and not a lot of drawing. I didn't do as good of prep work in prepping the stream. So but yeah, I got the stream chat pulled up on my phone and we're about to get started. So let me actually take this down. All right, so now I don't have to worry about the stream starting soon. The stream is starting now. And we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. So let's see. I'm gonna lock this layer and no, I don't need it locked. Since this is a reference, because I do definitely not want to draw on top of it. And I also don't want to trace. Let me see how I want to do this. I'm going to duplicate this reference layer, and then I'm going to just crop a part of this. So Control X. Did that work? Oh, no, 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 no. So I have to rasterize it first. Control X. All right, and then that'll give me just the head. So I'm gonna Control V, Control T, and now I can see like the entire head to her, right? So let me try one more thing to like help me with this. Control D, and then I'm going to just delete all that like excess kind of gray around the areas. I could probably delete this flame too. I don't really need that. Oh, geez, wrong eraser. Yeah, I can really just delete this flame too. So now I have this, and I can kind of take this. I can Control T, change it. Why is it doing this to me? Let me just make sure there's nothing around this image. And like I said, again, I'm just kind of using this as a reference. So I'm gonna put this in the corner and even lower the opacity. I just want to be able to see it so I can like refer to it later. So let's see, how are we gonna do this? I'm gonna start and I'm gonna get some blue, and then I'm gonna just start out with the face. So I'm gonna actually just turn that off right quick. And then let's see. I'm gonna go, let me try size 7 right quick and see how that works. That's a little thin. Let me try 8. And that works. All right. So when we look at Jean Grey, right? How they have her in Marvel's, her head is kind of narrow, right? And I'm just drawing on top of this just to like get a feel for it. It's like the first time I'm using like a reference in these actual drawings. So I kind of want to keep that kind of narrow face. Let me see. I also have like a image of her because I also want to refer to like the Blade like trailer that she was in. Give me a sec. I had it pulled up on my tablet and now I don't. Let me actually. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of draw that head kind of tilted, and then we kind of have to map out where the face is gonna be. So face is kind of like also just kind of tilted up towards like the top. So I'm just kind of trying to mirror what I have over here. Give me just a sec. I'm trying to find my other reference. There's like so many references that I one can't pull up on here, but let's see. And then we're kind of gonna draw like that narrow. Oof, this is looking rough already. That kind of narrow head. Let me see. And then we're kind of gonna do the same thing over here. Like I said, her face is a little bit sharp, and we kind of want to replicate that. So yeah, again, this working from a reference, but we're still trying to, draw it. I'm trying to draw it in my style, right? So now I've got like where her eyes are gonna be. Let me see. Okay, yeah, that's all one layer. And we're gonna round out the top of that head a little bit. Let me refer to this a little bit. I feel like I kind of messed this up, but trust the process. But yeah, round out that head a little bit. And let me see. I'm trying to pull up the stance she had when like her and Blade were in the trailer, because that's really the pose I want to do, since later on I'm going to make this her and Blade. I'm just drawing her for right now. So let me see. And then like her ears kind of get cut off by her hair. So let me actually Control X and put this in a different layer so that won't confuse me. Okay. I think I put the brow line a little like up a little too high. I think I tried to like make it too similar to the actual reference. So let me do something else. Let me lower the opacity of this because my other reference doesn't even do like this anyway. So we're gonna just start a new layer. And I'm just gonna turn this off because I don't like how that started. Let me see, I'm gonna bring this brightness up a bit, and then I'm gonna go a little bit further to the left and try something else right quick. So, I got a feel for how to draw her face. So let's try this one more time. And I'm gonna try to refer a little bit less to the actual reference. Okay, so in the reference I'm using that's like on my tablet, you can't see it, but I'm just her head's kind of tilted this way, and she's kind of facing almost like she's facing towards the screen. Head still kind of tilted. Okay. Nose will be like maybe around here-ish. And then, you have the mouth. I'm just kind of mapping out where I want everything else to be. And like I said, she's kind of got like this kind of narrow, almost like maybe triangular kind of head. So it's not like a super long face. It's kind of rounded out in certain parts, but it is a bit triangular. So we're gonna kind of try to keep that, and then we'll kind of try to keep the same narrowness around like the nose. And these things will like change as I go along. Kind of got like a neutral kind of expression. And we don't want to get too detailed in the face right now since we have to a lot of things will change as we go along. She's got like this stern demeanor to her. She's not frowning, but she's not happy either. So I'm kind of liking where this is starting to go. So we've got a decent looking head going. Easy. I'm gonna bring this chin up just a little bit, just a little bit, and yeah, let's kind of bring the face in a little. I think I drew these in the same layer, but it's all right because they're not on top of each other. But be sure when you do this that you do. I'm gonna Control C or Control X and Control V to cut and paste. But make sure you do these in separate layers so that you don't botch your drawing. Um, and before I continue with the face, I do want to map out where the rest of the body is gonna go for right now. So give me 1 second. Yeah, the chest kind of goes up a little bit. She's kind of posed with her chin kind of almost pressing towards her chest. And she's kind of poking her chest out a little bit. She's kind of puffing her chest. It's a really nice superhero kind of pose. And then her neck will be right here, kind of going with the contours of her head. Let's see. And then the chest kind of is at about the same height as her head, pretty much. That's kind of where the chest stops. So let's see. Let's kind of try to shape this a little bit. So it's kind of it'll kind of go down like this. And I'm gonna have to shrink this later, or I might not. I might not have to shrink it. I can just kind of cut it off um below the belt, I guess. It'd be a little bit easier for me. It'd be more challenging not to do that though, because I'm not the best with drawing legs, but let's see, let's turn up the brightness on this sketch a little bit. And I'm gonna go back to the head. I'm just kind of dancing around a little bit to just what I'm comfortable with. But yeah, her head will kind of square off just a little bit. And at her forehead, right around where the eyebrows are, you'll kind of have that little headpiece. So we're just kind of gonna map out that headpiece. All right, so it's a rough sketch. Almost looks like Wonder Woman right here. But yeah, Jean Grey, if you don't really know who Jean Grey is, she is an X-Men character. She's kind of like the lover to Scott, Cyclops. And I don't know too much about her, but basically all you need to know if you're playing Marvel Rivals is that she's a super like just great telepath for one. That's her normal ability, but she's kind of like a fusion of her and the Phoenix Force. And if you didn't know what the Phoenix Force is, it's basically a god. It's like a god in the Marvel universe, which so are a lot of people. But Jean Grey and the Phoenix Force are basically one and the same. So that honestly, I feel like that makes her such a busted character. Like in terms of just the Marvel universe, but Marvel Rivals lore wise, she's like almost extra busted because she's really good telepathically. She's already like the game even tells you she was good even before she got like the Phoenix Force. But the fact that she like now has the Phoenix Force on top of her psychic abilities, that's pretty busted if you ask me. Like who is beating that? Who is actually beating that? And then on top of that, she like on top of her basic mutant abilities and her just having the Phoenix Force, apparently she can also kind of use some chaos energy in rivals, like with Scarlet Witch. So she's just like busted all across the board. Let me see. And now we're gonna try to draw some breasts right here. I think they look fine right now. I think I might have stretched one too far out, but yeah, we're kind of getting the form of the character. I think she's starting to look nice. She's starting to get the pose, and I'm just trying to draw this in my style, like I said. All right, so I'm gonna bring this sketch over just a little bit. Again, we're trying not to like trace or anything like that. We're just using that side image as a reference. Let me see. And this would be easier. Let me lower the opacity of the reference and change the size of the sketch. No, don't apply transformation. I'm gonna control T, shrink the image a little bit, and I just want to kind of get the form, the overall form of this character. So I'm gonna hit P. All right, and then I'm gonna bring this body. Yeah, yeah, we're already starting to. Yeah, and then I can make this kind of not an hourglass per se. Like it's an hourglass figure, don't get me wrong, but it's like the way she's posed is more like a I don't know, the way she's posed kind of distorts the whole hourglass thing. But we're just kind of trying to get that shape of her body. All right, so the hips would kind of end around here. This leg would come out a bit. And then she's got like this arm going, so let me see. It'd kind of curve in just a little bit. We want to exaggerate it a bit because you know the arm would kind of come in and then come back out. It's pretty much a straight arm, but that's kind of how the arm works. It kind of curves inward just ever so slightly, and then she's kind of got this like pretty kind of hand pose coming out here. I don't really even know how else to describe it, but yeah, we're just getting the basic pose of it, and then there's a little bit of maybe I guess foreshortening right here. The arm kind of comes out, and you can't see the rest of it behind like the rest of her body. And then it comes down to like right about her hips, like right at the top of her hips. And then she's got this clenched fist. So what I can actually let me just go with it right for right now and see how the clenched fist looks. Give me just a sec. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna draw that kind of clenched fist right here, and then let me see how else do I want to do this. This one hip right here is kind of coming out, and this other hip and like thigh is coming like straight down. So yeah, and I think it's starting to look pretty good so far. I'm trying to figure out how much of this I want to draw. I think I'll shrink it a bit to try to get the form of the full figure, but I think I'll only draw from like the thighs up, if that makes sense. So I do like the pose I got going so far though. But yeah, let's continue. Yeah, and then let me see, the thighs will come down to like maybe right about here. And they'll kind of both be at like I don't know how to describe the angle, but they'll be at like an angle to each other because this one's kind of bent. So it'll kind of like pinch in around here, and then it'll kind of curve right around there. So I'll probably have to like change this a little bit. Let me make this calf a little bit like more muscular, I guess. Let's see, and then bring this thigh in, and then the knee will be like right around here. I'm just kind of guesstimating. But yeah, I'm starting to I really like this pose right now though. Let's shrink it a little bit more. Let me hit OK. All right, and then I'm put this foot down right here. And the main pose is kind of done. It's different from how it is on say the like actual reference image I'm doing, but I do like how it's coming out though. So kind of like that. I think the arm should be brought down a little bit more. I think I kind of messed up the thighs a little bit. But yeah, let me bring this arm out just ever so slightly, Control T, and I'm gonna turn it a little bit and just make it a little bit bigger. And I think that's a nice change. Let's see how that looks. Control D. All right, so the basic pose of it is done. There's like one other thing. She's kind of got like these little bands that kind of come on or come out from her like uniform. It's really weird because it there's like a specific piece that it latches onto. It's not like a belt or anything like that. It's specifically attached to like one piece of her costume. I had to like look at it, but yeah, that's basically the basic form of Phoenix. And let me see, because she's also got the actual like Phoenix character behind her. The difference is that it's like, how do I describe it? She's, yeah, I can bring up the opacity and just explain. She's like this kind of fiery kind of creature. Since her and Jean Grey are the same, it's really almost like a stand from JoJo's. If any of y'all have seen JoJo's, but she's basically like a stand user. So I'm gonna try. Oh, how do I want to do this? Because I kind of like the back to back aspect of this. So yeah, let's go with the back to back part of this, right? So I'm gonna zoom out a little bit and bring my sketch over, and then I'm gonna move the reference layer kind of over here. Let me move the sketch a little bit more too. All right, so I'm gonna brighten this up just a little bit, and then I'm gonna lower the opacity of the sketch. I don't really want to see too much of Jean Grey. I done already drawn her for right now, but yeah, let's kind of. I'm just gonna trace over this right quick just so I can get a feel for the face. So let's hit P and let me shrink my brush. So just like Jean Grey, her face is kind of narrow, and then it's kind of got like this kind of triangular shape around it. She's also kind of mean mugging a bit. She's not really frowning, but she's not again like she's not particularly happy either. And then kind of like Johnny Storm, she's got these kind of flames on her head. Hers are a bit more pronounced, but she's more of a silhouette than anything. So I'm gonna keep that sketch right there, and then I'm gonna start a new layer and sketch her out. So let's see. Dang, how do I want to do this though? Okay, I'll just take that same pose. So Oh, this is gonna be hard. All right, so I'm gonna draw her behind and then just kind of make that narrow kind of face and kind of draw like a straight. Ah, that's too sharp. That's too sharp. A straight little triangle right here. Bring that up. Bring the head in a little bit. And again, I'm just kind of going for it, just winging it. All right, and I'm gonna bring her out just a little bit. And she's starting off kind of big right now, but I can always, shrink her later. And her face is a little bit lower, but I think I do want her to kind of have more of like a lowered kind of expression. And I'm just kind of doing my own flames. Flames are a pretty organic type of shape. They don't have any structure to them. They're always moving and they're pretty much alive and stuff like that. So, uh it's not. I kind of don't like how it looks right now, but we'll trust the process. And she's kind of got her chest poked out as well. It's kind of like a more static kind of pose. And I think I want her to I think I want to make her do a pose as well, but we'll see. We'll see how I feel about it. But it's very much deviating from the actual image, which is a good thing, but also a bad thing. But yeah, I want her to be kind of proud, like have like a proud stance, because you gotta think about it. She is like a deity, pretty much. So yeah, the chest will be a little bit further out on her. She's almost at like a profile kind of view. And this is a little bit hard because I can't see her entire body. I just kind of have to imagine it. So yeah, now we're just gonna draw some boobs right here. Think those looking all right for right now. And then we'll kind of bring in the chest just a little bit. And the arm will kind of be like right here. Anybody just popping in is probably like, what the heck am I looking at? But let's see. I think I want to have her like mirror Jean Grey's pose. I feel like that'll be a little bit lazy, but I kind of want to do it. But we'll see how I'm feeling about it as I go along. So let's see. Trying to think how I want this. Mm, I'm gonna bring this leg out a little bit. And I think it's a little bit acceptable if I like stylize this a bit because she's more of almost like an apparition. So if I like change up her pose, it'll probably be all right. But yeah, I'm just gonna bring this thigh down a little bit. And I'm just kind of making this pose up, not really much of a reference. And like I said, I think it's fine for like the actual Phoenix portion just because she is kind of like a mythical kind of almost apparition, like I said, like a spirit. At least that's how it seems. You know what I said? I don't know too much about these characters. I just know they're in Marvel Rivals. And I play that game a lot. So I want to give her kind of like a strong stance, maybe like a clenched fist. I won't like fully draw it right now, but I'm just kind of trying to map it out. And I like how this is going. I'm gonna shrink it just a little bit. And I do like that pose. I really do like that pose. I'm gonna just kind of imagine some feet. I probably need to make that foot a little bit like smaller. I probably need to make the legs a little bit longer. I'm really bad about drawing legs. Like very bad about drawing legs, but I think that looks halfway decent. So let's give me a second. Let me turn off. Where's the oh, okay. So that's that one layer. And I'm gonna turn up the brightness. So now we have Jean Grey and Phoenix, which they're one and the same, but I'm gonna move my reference layer back over. That's not the reference layer. I'm gonna move my reference layer back over, and then I'm gonna move these two. I like how it's starting off. I really do. So give me just a sec. I'm gonna check the chat right quick, see if anybody's here, and just kind of check the overall stream right quick. All right, give me just a sec. All right, so not really too many people in right now, but and I also got a missed call, so give me just a sec. All right, so let's continue on. So we have Jean Grey, and I kind of want to just kind of go over and redraw that sketch. All right, so I'm gonna turn off the like Phoenix portion right quick, lower the opacity of this, and now I'm just kind of gonna dial into the face and just make it my own. So let's see. Let's look at her actual eyebrows. So let me turn up the brightness just a bit. She's got kind of like these thin eyebrows. So we're gonna go for that. And then she's got like these kind of almost squared off eyes, if that makes sense. So let's go for it. Kind of gonna make those eyebrows just a little bit sharp. Like I said, she's got that kind of stern expression on her face. And then she's got kind of like this triangular kind of nose. It's kind of, and then it's like narrow, and then it kind of like goes into more of a triangular shape. Kind of like she's got some kind of thin lips. It's not like a frown, but it's definitely not a smile. Like I said, really stern expression. Let's try to do the eyes right quick. I said really straight, kind of squared off eyes. And I think it's kind of starting to take shape like it does in the actual game. Face looks just a little bit off, but we can fix that. So kind of gonna bring. Matter of fact, let me flip this right quick so I can kind of see it from another angle. And then, again, we'll put the chin kind of right here-ish and just kind of thin out the jawline a little bit. And then we'll just kind of go back into that forehead. All right, let me flip it back because I'm kind of satisfied with that. So let me go back into this headpiece. And I just kind of want to realize it a little bit more, just flesh it out. So it's like the actual little star, like gold piece of this is kind of parallel with like the straight parts of the headpiece. Okay, so we're just gonna bring this up, and it's supposed to be like a bird. It looks like it's supposed to be a phoenix. So I might thin this just a little bit, but I think it looks good for the most part. And one thing I didn't really hit was like right here. She's kind of got like this almost mask. The whole headpiece is almost like this open mask. So I'm gonna try to keep that in there. Let's see. She's got a part in her hair that's kind of like off centered. Let me see. Let me finish off this headdress right here. And then let's see. It's about in the middle, but I think it's slightly off centered. So we're gonna make that little. I'm just kind of BSing right now. I'm trying to describe what I'm doing, but it's kind of hard. So I'm just kind of trying to draw the hair as I see it in one of my references. And it kind of comes in a little bit, and then towards the ends, they kind of go back out. So it kind of in and out. And then this like lock goes like slightly out here. And I think we're having some decent looking hair. This part kind of goes straight down and contours with the rest of it, and then she'll have some more hair that kind of comes out towards the end. So now the hair looks better. Let's see. But yeah, I've played a little bit of Jean Grey since like yesterday when she first came out. So she's a pretty cool character. Like if you like DPS, or even if you don't like DPS, she's still a fun character. Let me erase the nose just a little bit. I think I brought like the nostrils a little too high up, or a little bit more, not flat, but they're not as like, it's not as big as I made it, pretty much. Yeah, I think right about here looks good. All right, so we're kind of getting the face. I think I didn't make the face as narrow as it could have been, so let me like try to narrow it out a little bit more. I think that looks a little bit better. All right, so now let's look at like the actual, this is going to be the hard part, the actual fit, because there's so many little designs and details on it. I might try to simplify it, but I'll just try to see how it looks for right now. So I said I think this neck portion looks pretty well. So I'll try to like keep it around there. I like how the body is going down. And let's see. I'm just kind of trying to draw it as I see it. So around the body, let's see. I think this like line of the chest should be over just a little bit more. And I'm gonna have to erase it anyway, but it just kind of helps me to map out where each like part of the breast is gonna be. So let's see. It'll kind of center around like right there. So it'll come from like here and then like to here, almost like a little star dang near. And then let me see. I'm just kind of trying to map out where it's gonna be. I don't want to make them like I don't want to make them like poke out like too much, if that makes sense. Like they kind of the way she's like poking her chest will kind of like they'll kind of like sit up. They won't like droop due to like gravity since she's not like leaning down or anything like that. They'll just kind of sit up. I'm over here acting like I know how jiggle physics work, but let's see. And then there's like a protrusion here from her outfit, and then there's another one on this side. It's kind of like this triangle kind of shape, and it'll go down from like I feel like it should go up a little bit higher, actually. I feel like I made that way too small. I feel like this is a little bit better. So to go from like almost to where the shoulder ends. So I got to map out where the shoulder ends now. So let's see. Feel like this would come out right about here-ish. Feel like I made her a little bit more petite than she is in the game, but I feel like that's all right. Let's see. And keep in mind, I am a man drawing a woman, so I'm like, you know, I'm on the outside looking in on this one. I mean, I have a hard time drawing men sometimes, so I guess this ain't too big of a difference. Sometimes I feel like I'm better at drawing women than I am drawing men. Let's see. But like I said earlier, the arm will kind of let's see how I want to do this. Oh man, it's starting to look nice though. It is starting to look nice. I like it. The only thing I don't like is that my characters just have like this very rounded look to their faces. And I guess it's arguably just part of my style, but sometimes I'm like, dang, could I draw someone with a narrow face for once? But yeah, I'm gonna go with the thigh right here and just kind of, sorry, I'm kind of just locked in right now. Because I feel like I kind of have the form down pretty well. I ain't trying to toot my own horn, but I think I'm cooking right here. The only thing is the arm. Like I feel like I'm about to botch this arm, but I guess we won't know till we try. So I'm just kind of gonna try to get a decent shape for it. Ugh. You'd think a straight arm would be like one of the easiest parts to draw, right? Let me just establish the shoulder right here. This is the shoulder. Okay. That'll definitely make this a lot easier. I feel like it's a little far out maybe, but it'll be fine for right now. And I feel like it'll come in just a little bit. Let's try that. And then let's say it comes and stops right around here-ish and then comes outward a little. Yeah, I think that might be heat. It'll come out just ever so slightly this way. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll roll with that. And then I'll kind of have it like stop right around here-ish with like the hand. Maybe. Maybe it should be a little bit higher. Like maybe up here. I'm just trying to figure stuff out. Okay, so the hand is gonna be kind of a hard part, but it kind of loops it, makes like this little curve right here. And then the thumb comes in like with the actual arm. I might have made that thumb a little too big. Something we could fix later, but and then the rest of the fingers just kind of contour to that. So they all kind of come in. And that's all right. That's all right. I feel like it needs a little bit of fixing, but for the most part, I think that's fine. Okay, so let's proceed. And now we're gonna do like the other side of the body. Let me turn down my. Did I draw this in the? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I did this in the. Let me lock the. Let me copy all this, and then actually hold up. Control D, because there's like it's really close to the actual reference image. So now I'm gonna Control X, Control D, and Control V. Okay, so now they're in separate layers. So I'm gonna lock the reference layer right quick. Let me check the chat again. My eyes already burned. Okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna hit P. All right. I'm liking how this is going so far. I even like how raised the arm is and like how lowered this arm is. So let's keep going. And I'll say like that kind of, give me a sec. Okay. Yeah, hit P. And I'll say that crotch area is kind of like right about here-ish. And then it kind of like goes in up to here. And I like where this thigh goes down. Let me see. It'll kind of come in at like almost like a little hill on like the top of the thigh, and then it'll curve in ever so slightly at the bottom of the thigh. And again, I'm just pretending I have some form of anatomy knowledge. So I don't like how this leg was done. So let me select this Control T to transform and just bring it out just a little bit. I think that helps. Let me see, Control D. Ah, I like this one better. I like that one better. So we'll go with that. But I do have to fix that up. So see how I want to do that. Drawing is hard. Drawing is very hard sometimes. I definitely I definitely should finish this by the end of the night. I don't think there's any reason I shouldn't since it's literally just one character. But this is definitely gonna be a rough one. So strap in, folks. All right, and I think that looks a little bit better. I have to like curve in on this foot. And I guess it's hard to see on the reference I'm using because like the foot is actually like blocked out by the other leg in the reference I'm looking at, but I think that looks nice. You got to keep in mind this is my drawing. I got to change it up from the original kind of material. And it's okay if it is a bit different. There's nothing wrong with that. Oof. Jeez. Okay. Let's continue. Yeah, we're just gonna put this down a bit. And like right around this ankle is like where this gets cut off. And then it goes into the other foot. It's hard. Like this is actually genuinely hard. And I don't even know if I'm gonna keep this in. Like all like the full body. Like maybe I should. I don't know if I will though. All right, so oof. Okay, so the form is getting there. The form is getting there. Feel like I should make this bigger. Let's see right quick. Let me put this into a folder. All right, and then I'm gonna just Control T to increase the size. Like I like the actual pose, and I think it'll be a little bit more challenging for me to actually do the full drawing. Just for like craps and giggles, right quick. Let's make this a little bit larger just so I could see what it would look like if it's not the full pose. No, I don't think I like that. And plus, I think it leaves less room for the actual like Phoenix portion of it. All right, so let me lay back right quick, sip a little bit of this coffee, and then we will proceed. Okay, now, uh, this is gonna be rough. Um, let's try these little bands. I have a reference for them, but I kind of like the way I've drawn them. I kind of like how this one comes down. Oops, this is the wrong layer. I like how this one comes down and like thins out and like gets bigger around the ends. Let me see, my brush should probably be a little bit bigger. Yeah. I like that. I like that. All right. So now I'm gonna do a similar thing with this. And this kind of comes out a little bit. All right. Something like that. And that's something I can like really fix up later, which I say a lot, but that it's true. You know, it's never over until it's over. All right, so I'm gonna have that clenched fist. I'm gonna try to flesh that out a little bit more. Yeah, and the arm will kind of like the forearm will kind of like extend a little bit of like curve in around where the arm and the fist connect. It's good that I can see like a fist drawing because that usually gives me like actual problems. And I know I've drawn a ton, and I mean a ton of fists in my, I guess, career as an artist, you can say, but I don't know. Some things just never get easier, I guess. Let's see. I'm trying to like, okay, they'll kind of curve in a little bit in some areas. But yeah, just want to make sure we have the correct number of like fingers, right? So one finger, two finger, three finger, and then this will be the fourth. And then we'll kind of come down right there. Might have botched that last part of this. Well, no, that looks all right. And again, if not, we can always go back and fix it later. But for right now, it's looking decent. I like I like that clenched fist. Nah, but she looks great. She looks great so far. I gotta fix up the arm a little bit. I think it goes a little too far out. So I'm gonna just lasso tool, grab this, go around this area, control T, and voila. I think that's a little bit better. Control D. So after, before, yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah, yeah. I like how the arm and the leg kind of go down and then these kind of go outward. I like it. I really do. So, oof, my eyes. So we've got the base sketch for Jean Grey down, pretty much. There's, I have to do like the actual like portions of the outfit though, and that's gonna be a pain. So while I'm doing this, let me see. Let me see if I could pull up a reference while I'm doing this and just get the like bits and pieces of her fit. And while I'm doing that, let me actually zoom in because I kind of don't like how I did these eyes. Like, I feel like they're a little too straight, and since she's looking like straight downward, they would kind of curve in just a little bit. So let me like like a little bit like that right there. Plus her eyes would be just a little bit thicker anyway, just for the fact that she's got like obviously wears makeup. At least it looks like it. Those are some pretty thick eyelashes to not have like freaking eyeliner and stuff around them. But let's see. I did like some screenshots from the game, and I'm trying to pull them up on my phone right quick so I can like see how she actually looks, or like how her suit and stuff looks. So I am not gonna make this 100% accurate because, like I said in one of my other videos, I really don't like fine details. So I'm gonna just kind of try to get certain portions of this fit in. So let's see. Trying to see if I could get an image of her from the front. All right, so there's kind of gonna be like this. I don't even know how to describe the shape, but they'll kind of contour around the bottom of the boobs, and then they'll kind of make almost like this knife shape towards like the bottom of her fit, if that makes sense. So it'll kind of look something like this, and it'll like it's really hard to describe this. Like I knew going into this would be like the worst part because I'm like, bro, there's a lot of fine detail for somebody that does not like doing fine details. But I guess I'm just complaining. I'm really just complaining. I should probably do this in a separate layer actually. But yeah, let's see. There's almost like these almost like chaps that she has. Like this kind of metal plating around the legs dang near. And they'll open up like right around here. So this bottom portion will be like a black color just like the rest of her suit. So I'm just kind of gonna do a little bit of shading just to like remind me of that later. This is a weird. This is so weird. Like it's such a unique. Rivals designs intimidate me. I ain't gonna lie to you, because they're some of these are like really hard to draw. Especially for me, I just draw. I usually just give characters like T-shirts and stuff. So this is actually difficult. It's actually just genuinely difficult. Let's see. There's like some plating around the knees. So let's keep that going. And then like under that knee, there'll be some more like plating. This is hard, bro. Like I'm so glad I only did like one character, but jeez. I think I nailed the pose, but I think in terms of like the outfit is gonna be the biggest pain of all of this. And I'm already kind of just mentally. Let me stop complaining. Okay, let's see. All right, so that kind of top plate, let me see, it'll kind of come in right here ish, like towards the center. It'll come down again and then just like wrap around right about here ish. I know that didn't really make any sense, but and I'm not gonna get this perfect because this is a like I said, this is a really intricate design. I'm probably gonna have to simplify this just to not blow my head off in I would say in GTA, but this is a drawing. In the drawing. But yeah, I think it's starting to or not it's already been getting somewhere, but I think it's getting further along. This middle part is also like a black color, so I'm gonna shade this a little bit to just remind me of the colors for later. And that looks pretty cool, I think. Just the detail on the suit makes it look that much better. If this was like I'm kind of taking notes right now because a lot of my characters kind of look a little bit flat. Like the actual faces and expressions that they have are pretty well, I feel like, but they aren't like the outfits aren't as interesting. So, see, I like how she is on this. But yeah, now I got to do it from a separate angle. Oh my gosh. I really hate to complain, but it's just so out of my like comfort zone, I guess. Which is good. You want to challenge yourself, but boy, is this a challenge. I can't even I'm trying to envision where this was like start and end. Okay, so I guess this would kind of wrap inward. Okay, let me refer to this side, right? So this side kind of comes. Oh, this is rough. Okay, okay. Let me look at the inner part of the thigh. The inner part of the thigh will kind of have like this part going in. So, dang, this is difficult to like actually. Let me see if I could look at this from a separate angle. Man, I took a lot of shots. Let me not. That was not gonna come out any sort of right way. Let's see. Okay, so let me go for this bottom portion. Maybe that'll make it easier. All right, so there's another kind of plating right here that'll kind of cut off around the ankles. Let's see. And I guess it'll like stop right here. So that'll be like that bottom of the gold plating. And then this part right here is the only part that's giving me problems, like where it kind of curves in right here. But I think it'll be something like this. Oh my gosh. Wait. Maybe. What if, okay, so like right here-ish, something like that. Oh, this is confusing. All right, I think let me map out where like the black portion is again. So this is going to be the black portion of like the leggings or whatever. I think they are kind of, let me see, that kind of looks like the other side, sort of, not really. Let me bring it down a little bit more. Maybe that'll help. I gotta turn this into my own drawing. That's what I gotta do. All right, so let's hit E and just erase some of this. So like bring it down to like right there. And then I think make that kind of triangle shape like right about here. I think that looks a lot better. That looks a lot better. And that makes the suit you look a lot more unique. Around the shoes, there's like a little black portion, so I'll like color that in just a little bit. Let's see. And then same thing, the shoes like they'll kind of come in around like that ankle area, and then they'll also have like some black in right in that area. So I'm gonna like replicate the same thing over here. Just kind of have some of like I don't even know what to call that area, but just kind of outline some of these areas. I'm really just kind of BSing, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. So we got like a decent sketch going. I think the legs look all right. I think the arms could use a little bit more work. Give me a sec. Matter of fact, let me check the chat. Okay. It's still it's going. All right, so let's see what else I gotta do. Trying to look at the arm portions of this. So let's see how I want to do it. Nah, that was that. See, I'm losing track of where I put my layers and stuff. So I'm gonna do another separate layer for like the arm portions. I should probably label these. Two, this will be one, and then this will be legs. I'm just labeling the layers so I don't get like lost. But let me see what else we got going on here. Okay, yeah. I gotta label this one for like the arms. Okay, okay. Now I'm gonna try to like do the shape of the arms. So, like I said earlier, she's kind of got like this piece, this triangular piece right here. It kind of comes out almost like saying armor dang near. Um, this I'm probably gonna have to simplify just because it just really looks complicated. Let me flip this because like one of the references I'm using is kind of like from the opposite angle. So I'm gonna bring this in a little bit, wrap it around that kind of shoulder portion, and then those will make like this kind of, I would say a triangle shape, but the way I drew it right now, it kind of looks like somebody's nose. But yeah, right there. And then I think I'll do like an outline to imply like some plating or something like that. But I'm not gonna draw it exactly like they did on here. It's like so much for no reason. And then behind this lock of hair right here, we'll get that other one that pretty much does the same thing. So let's see. Right here. And then we'll bring that in a little bit. So yeah, it's looking halfway decent right now. Let's see how else I want to do this. The shoulder will kind of come in right about there. So that part was accurate. Feel like it could be raised ever so slightly, maybe. I don't know. And then we're just kind of gonna redraw some of this. Well, maybe not redraw, but just matter of fact, forget that. I'm just supposed to be doing the arms anyway. But let me try to do the bicep. The bicep will kind of stop a little bit higher than I put it. I want to say it should stop like right about there. And then let me see, this will kind of like curve inward, like I said. And then this forearm will kind of go out right there, I believe. And again, I'm just kind of guesstimating these things. I'm not the best with like body proportions and everything, but I try. I think that's all that matters. So yeah, there's like a little yellow line right here. And let me kind of map out, like I said, where this black portion is going to be. All right, and then right around like the contours of the forearm is where there's going to be like some metal plating. All right, so I'm just kind of trying to map that out. And I bring that in, and then this will stop like right about there. And then I'm just gonna fill in like what's gonna be that black portion. And that looks all right. Let's see. I feel like the arm is maybe a little off. Something about the arm definitely looks off. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure I'll figure it out later. So I think like the way the thumb comes out is a little off for one. I do like how the fingers are going out though, so I'm gonna keep that. But I think the thumb coming out like at that angle might be throwing this off a little bit, maybe. I hope I'm not making her like fingers too big. They should kind of come in like a circular angle. I think that looks all right. Yeah. That looks okay. That looks a little bit better. I think that looks a little bit better. So let's do the other arm and then we can proceed. with caution, because geez, like I said, this is a rough one. So let's see that other arm. Let me pull up the reference that was on my tablet actually. That'll make this a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm gonna flip this back around and then let me see. The plating on this arm kind of goes from here to like right here. And then there'll be like another portion from like here to here. And then there'll be like the kind of black portion of the fit. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just trying to match it kind of as close to the reference as I can. So I think for right now that looks mostly all right. Let me see. I'm gonna try to there's like a little bit of this area that's like wrapped in green, if that makes sense. Let me look at my references again. But yeah, I'm almost done drawing like Jean Grey. Oh, the inside makes like a phoenix shape. So there'll be like a little head towards like the top of the collarbones. Net ease. They like really surprised me with a lot of these. But yeah, I felt like it was giving like kind of a bird shape, but I just couldn't like I couldn't see the vision till now. But yeah, it'll kind of like wrap around, and then there's like this big phoenix shape that it takes across like the middle of the whole body. So interesting. Very interesting. I didn't know that's what that was supposed to be. I feel like there was a million other ways they could have drawn a dang phoenix, but that's that's interesting to know. Attention to detail. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna bring this downward a bit. And this phoenix is very asymmetrical. I don't like that, but it is what it is. And then for whatever reason, there are like these two like green portions of it that aren't like a part of the phoenix. I, it kind of makes like a star almost. I'm trying to see how I want to do this. This is like actually just irking my nerves, and it's very just hard to draw. So yeah, I guess I'll bring this like out a little bit, and I think that looks fine for the most part. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that looks great. Okay, and before I go on, let me actually do the eyes a little bit more. So bear with me just a second. I'm just kind of looking at the references I brought up here. So, oof. Okay, they're kind of low, but they'll probably get a little bit bigger around like that area. And then they're kind of more rounded right here. And then they kind of pinch in. So I think that's a much more interesting looking eye. It's the really small things. So I'm going to do the same thing with this other eye, just kind of have it round out towards the ends. And I think that looks a lot, yeah, that looks a lot better. That looks way better. Now, I'm trying to see if I should have her like looking downward or like front facing. I think facing would be the move. Like maybe like one pupil here, one pupil there. But it also kind of like she kind of looks like she's looking down if I do it like that. Let me see. I'm trying to trust the process. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. So I'll leave it there for right now. But with that, I think we've gotten the first part of like Gene. Oh, my eyes. Oh, my eyes. I think that looks great though. I think that looks great. Okay, give me just a second. I gotta breathe. The next part, and this would be so much easier if it was just Jean Grey, but it's also the Phoenix portion of it, which the Phoenix, like I said, is more of a silhouette than anything, so it shouldn't be as hard. But give me just a second. I'm gonna check like the stream stuff right quick, and then I'm gonna continue. Okay, so all right. So let's see. We are how far are we into the stream? An hour and 15 minutes. Cool, cool, cool. Like I said, this will probably be a shorter one. One, I think I deserve a break. And two, um, it's just Jean Grey and I'm not doing like the background and stuff. It'll be a really simple background. This is like gonna be like half the drawing for like her, and then I'm gonna do another where it's like Blade. So, but I won't do the Blade one till he comes out. But give me just a sec, and then I'll like continue on. Okay, so now that I've done that, and now that I have this in a different layer, let me lower the opacity for this, and then I'm gonna bring out, where did I put the Phoenix? Okay. Ooh, ooh, I have an idea. I want to make Phoenix do the Giorno, like the what's his stand's name? Uh Golden Wind. I want him to have golden like the I want Phoenix to have the Golden Wind pose. I'm doing that. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be so sick. That's gonna be so sick. Okay, so let me screenshot what I have on my tablet to make it easier to come back to, and then I'm gonna I'm gonna search up. Dang, what's the name of that last? What's the name of the last part five like intro? Hold on, it's not Fighting Gold. It's oh no, there's a golden wing. Dang, what's it's Trader's Requiem. That's what it is. Okay, okay, give me a sec. I'm finna look up like Trader's Requiem so I could see the actual pose that he took, and then I'm gonna reference that. If y'all haven't seen JoJo's, watch JoJo's. I probably could have just looked up Golden Experience Requiem. Also, I don't say Golden Wind Requiem. Is it called Golden Wind Requiem in like the manga or anything? Because I know it's Golden Wind in the anime and like Golden Experience in like the Japanese and the manga. Oh, okay. So this is gonna be sick. So let me make sure I okay. So I'm gonna kind of try to keep the original pose and just draw over like what I did. So actually, let me turn Jean Grey off for a second, and then I'm gonna move Phoenix over just a bit. All right, so now Phoenix is gonna hit the Golden Wind pose. I feel like this is good just because you know Phoenix is a lot like a stand user. And the Phoenix Force, at least how they've done it in Marvel Rivals, it does feel like a stand. Okay, if I trace over this, these are like two drastically different of images. So I'm gonna lower the opacity a little bit more to like so that it's barely there. And then I'm just gonna map out certain areas. So I'm gonna do the chest first because it's like the most prominent part and that the neck kind of tucks into the chest. So yeah, now we're gonna do that kind of sharp head that I was talking about earlier. Oh my gosh. This is I low-key want to just trace this, but that's no fun. Okay, so let me see. The shoulder would like come out to right about here, and then it like the arm would kind of come in and come back out, and then we'd have like the hips. Let me see. Where would the hips be? It's difficult, but it's so gonna be worth it. So yeah, we're gonna bring this in right here. Like the pose is already exaggerated, but I'm gonna like exaggerate it even more pretty much. Oh my gosh. I love this already. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love this already. Okay. And like I said, I'm just doing a JoJo reference right now. Cause I saw it, I was like, yo, the the Requiem stance, the Trader's Requiem for Golden Wind. Also, Giorno has like the coldest like anime like character theme song ever. I'd say the three just like most just coolest anime theme songs, like not the actual intros, but like the actual character theme songs. I think the hardest ones are Ichigo's like the number one. Now you feel like that, yeah, that one. That one goes hard. I think um Ultra Instinct theme, that one goes hard. And then Jorno's theme. I think Jorno's theme is the hardest though, because it's just like, bro, you anytime that theme plays, you know somebody's just getting bodied. Like it is like the most checkmate Uno reverse like song ever. Okay, so that leg's gonna kind of come out to like about here, and then it's gonna like wrap back around. Gonna do like a little pinch right there, and then kind of like right here. And then I'm gonna bring back the actual other image I drew of it in a sec, but I just kind of want to map out how things are gonna be. All right, the neck would probably be like that right there. I feel like I should. I'm gonna look in the mirror right quick and try to hit this pose. Oh man, this is already. Oh my gosh, this is a weird. This is like such a. This is such a diva pose, and it's so exaggerated too. All right, so there's kind of like a downward facing look to it, and then there's like gonna be the ear. This is probably gonna be like right about there, or maybe not. I wish I probably should have grabbed my mannequin head. You would think I'd have it in the room where I do art, but no, no, I don't. And then the other arm, I don't think is drawn. Let me see. I'm just trying to just kind of map out where I want everything. But yeah, I'll kind of like round out that head a little bit. All right, and then Phoenix Force will also have kind of like a stern kind of look, not a frown, but just a stern look. All right, kind of want to have that mouth right there. And like I said, they'll be kind of like this big, like flame, kind of right there. 'Cause it's basically her hair, but it's also flames at the same time. So, all right, let's lower the opacity of that and then just kind of compare it with the other drawings. So they are not really comparable, but I definitely like the Giorno kind of reference more. Let me see what else. Yeah, I think everything I liked about the other one, this one is doing better. So I'll just kind of reference it a little bit. Matter of fact, while I'm doing that, in fact, hold on. Let's put them side by side, right? So, oh, geez. So let's see. This was the other Phoenix one, and this is the new Phoenix one. So I think the new one definitely is a lot better overall for like a multitude of reasons. But I do like the kind of downward angle this one has. So if I could take that, but then put it on like this Requiem kind of pose right here, I think we'll have something cool. So let me see if I can find uh Golden Experience Requiem. And I'm just gonna try to matter of fact, let me just type in I should have just did Golden Wind pose. Golden Wind has like some really crazy poses. I do want it to have like a stand pose. I think the original like Golden Wind pose is a little too much. I think the Requiem pose is probably gonna be a bit better. Okay. So let's see. I got the manga panel pulled up. I like the manga version a little bit better because it is at more of a downward kind of angle. So I'm gonna keep that to the side because I do want that downward angle. And I'm also gonna have the actual Golden Wind image pulled up on my tablet. Again, that's something I can't really show y'all because I don't have the matter of fact, let me see. I'm gonna duplicate that layer. I'm gonna delete the head. And then I just want to let me hit delete, control D. I want to get the head right here because I do like how I drew that head. I'm gonna control C and control V that. What? What? Okay, I don't know what just happened, but where? Okay. I see what I did. Control C and where is it? I'm gonna control V. I'm gonna move it over a bit. Something's not right here. I don't know what I just did, but it ain't right. Let me see. Okay, so why is the head still there? Am I tripping? Hmm. This is interesting. Okay, see, this is why you write down what layers you have, because I about completely lost track of where I was. Okay, so I think I know what I did. I think I had like the other layer turned on, but now it should be fine. So I like that downward angle. Let's see. And then in the actual and this is why you gotta like look at the manga sometimes, because the drawing in the manga as opposed to the anime one is still good, but in the manga one, there's like the shoulder kind of touches the head. The head kind of leans into the shoulder a bit. So we're gonna have like that shoulder raised, and since the shoulder's raised, the collarbone is gonna go down a bit. Let's see. And then that's gonna kind of go downward. We're still kind of gonna keep the integrity of it, but it's kind of gonna go downward a little bit. I don't want her to look too muscular. All right, and then Just gonna stylize it just a little bit. All right, so I think that part looks really good. I'm gonna bring out this just a little bit, just so I can like map out where the face is gonna be. Round this portion out a little bit, and then I guess I can change where this ear is kind of going because it looks a little bit off. I guess I might be mistaken, but all right. And then yes, yes, I like that. I like that. And then I can even make it look a little bit similar to Requiem, because Requiem's kind of almost like hair comes out in a similar way. And for anybody that's tuning in, I'm not really looking at the chat right now, but Requiem is it's a JoJo stand, if you even know what that is. But it's a kind of upgrade to one of the stands. So, all right, so let's see where the body's gonna be. This is such a difficult pose, but if I could like actually nail this pose, that is gonna be so worth it. Okay, so I think it's gonna come out to like right here. The breast will kind of come out like right about there. I think it'll like round out around here. The other one will kind of like be right here. So I think that's how that'll look. Again, I'm working from like star not star platinum. Golden Wind is a male stand. So for like a female kind of stand, which Phoenix isn't technically a stand at all, but for like the a female drawing of a male drawing it's kind of confusing because I kind of have to imagine where like certain body parts and stuff would be. But that's kind of the fun of it though, to an extent. So yeah, I kind of like where this thumb was. Yeah, yeah. And then it'll kind of I like how I did the fingers. I think that one's a little small, but the middle finger right there. And then yeah, yeah, I think for the most part that looks fine and dandy. All right, so let me see that other leg is gonna come out. Dang, hmm. I'm trying to see how I want this to be because I definitely do like this kind of how the butt's kind of just out right there. I like that, but let's see. I think it should be downward ever so slightly, and then let see. I'm imagining this would be like right about here-ish, and I'm just I have some experience drawing people, but so I'm trying to use as much of my knowledge as I possibly can. And I guess it would be safe to just kind of mirror what I have over here, but also just kind of make it my own, which both of these are my own, but I think this works a little bit better. I like how the legs are kind of going in right here. There's some confidence in my marks. Let me just try to draw that foot so it'll be kind of like a ball right here, ball right there. Let me rotate this a little bit. That should help me out a bit. Feet are something that I should probably practice a little bit more because like hands are hard, but at least you draw hands. you will usually be in a situation where you need to draw hands. When am I ever needing to draw feet? Like, you know what I mean? Like, when would I ever? I feel like I kind of botched the butt area. Let me flip this. It's all right. It's all right for a deity. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is kind of, I would say practice, but everything we, hey, she kind of flexing that butt though. I ain't gonna, I ain't gonna hold you. See, now I have to like actually hard commit and draw the butt well. All right, so ah, okay, so this is the back of the leg. I should probably bring this in a little bit because this thigh is like, or maybe I can make this thigh a little bit bigger. Ah, this is gonna bother me. Let me move this in a little bit. I feel like that's better. I feel like that's better. Control D, or is it? That's a little bit better. I could probably make that thigh a bit bigger in all honesty. See, if I have to hit this pose again, I know something. Okay, but let's see how I want to do this. I guess I'll just continue to draw the leg. Oh, this is the wrong brush. Oh yeah, my phone's done charging. Okay, let's see. And then the leg will kind of come in a bit. All right. Something like that. Let me oh, okay. I can take a little bit more time on these feet. Especially this one, because it's like I feel like that would come in a little bit and then yeah. Okay. All right. Something like that. I do like that pose. I really do. I feel like this one versus this one is a lot more interesting and it fits with the fiery kind of aesthetic. So I like this pose. I think I want to have like a like kind of limping arm. Just kind of like her arms down. I feel like that would make it a bit more sassy. So I'm finna look in the mirror and hit this pose again. Let's see. I gotta like prop my knee up on the bed for this. Is like such a weird. I mean, I guess if her arm was down though, you wouldn't see it at that angle though. So I guess I don't really need to do that. But yeah, I guess that'll be the basic kind of look for that. I can't think of the words right now, but yeah, I think that's a good looking Phoenix Force. All right, now I can put that into a folder, and then we can put that beside Jean Grey. And now we have the yo. This looks so cool. This looks so. I can't wait to like actually flesh this out a bit. So let me put Jean Grey up in the front, and then Phoenix. Yeah, yeah, I'm cooking with this one. Like I'm actually cooking with this one. It's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. I don't like again. I don't really want to toot my own horn, but I doth believe I am cooking. Now I'm trying to see because Jean Grey is taking up a lot of real estate. Let me move Jean Grey over a little bit. See what I mean? Like I feel like we gotta give Phoenix a little bit more shot. Oh, yeah, if it was like right here, I think Phoenix can be a little bit smaller because she's one behind and two, she's like the secondary to her. She's not as big, if that makes sense. So, whoops. Ah, crap. Let me see. I'm gonna select both of these, move them over a bit. I think both of them can stand to be ever so smaller, but I think the main thing that I would do is, and I'm gonna, oh my God. Oh, I forgot. Hold on. Because I totally forgot to do the time lapse. Let me record the dang time lapse. I will remember. I'm glad I remembered in the middle of the stream rather than not at all. Because there were some of these where I didn't do that at all. Let me control S this because I know this is gonna take a minute. Okay. Okay. Phoenix drawing. I'm just saving the image or whatever. Dang, that's gonna bother me. Okay. At least I did it before like the outlining and stuff went on, but bro, I wish I would have had the most of the actual drawing just got finished. That's upsetting. But okay. That's what the live stream's for, right? I guess. I guess. Okay. Now that we've done that, or actually we didn't do anything. Let me control J this to duplicate it. Just in case. You always wanna, not always, but actually no, I always want to spare in case you like botch your drawing. You don't want to like not be able to get what you've done back if it's ugly. Let me control Z that right quick. All right, I'm gonna get this little plus and put it towards there so that way it rotates around that part. And I think that looks pretty good actually. So this is before. Oh crap! What did I do? Uh oh crap. Okay, so that's after. This is before. I think both look good, but I do like this. And even if one was slightly better than the other, which negligible amount, this is better for the composition because that gives me more space to have Jean Grey. All right, now before I continue on, I need bodies in here. So I'm gonna text a few of my boys so they can come through on the stream. Me text Broski. And then who else did I need to text? Oh yeah. My bad, y'all, but let me see. Dang, this is a nice composition. It's a really nice composition, if I do say so myself. But okay. All right. So the only thing I want to do before I like actually proceed is to just flesh out Phoenix just a little bit more. So let me name these. So, and I know Jean Grey and Phoenix are technically the same person, and I should probably be calling both of them Phoenix. But for less confusion's sake, I'm gonna not do that. And plus, even the devs themselves, if you go on the website, they straight up call her Jean Grey, like instead of Phoenix on the website. So like in game, it will call her Phoenix, and then it'll say formerly known as Jean Grey. But on the actual website, when you look at the character, it's just straight Jean Grey. That's exactly what they call her. It's not Phoenix. So, but I'm aware they are pretty much the same, like one and the same. But for lack of confusion's sake, I'm gonna call her freaking Jean Grey, and I'm gonna call the other one Phoenix. Now, what did I do with my references? Okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit more with Phoenix. So let me lower the opacity of this and start a new layer. Let me flip it so I have it from another perspective. Okay, so she does have a like full on face, so I gotta keep that in mind. Um, Let me turn down the opacity of the layers a little bit more. All right, all right, all right. So now Phoenix also has that kind of triangular shape to her face, but I do like the roundedness I've got on her. All right, so maybe that ear should be a little bit closer, or maybe I could just that might work. This right here might work actually. And she kind of has a hairline with that fire. Like it's not it it's fire, yes, but it's also treated kind of like a hairline. And then it's kind of like would wispy be the word? It kind of gets like really sharp towards the end, so let's try to make it a little bit more give it a little bit more definition, I guess, towards the end. Make it a little bit more loose and fiery. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. It's a little bit more hazy. It's a little fluffy almost in some areas, so it kind of has like this one big kind of almost hair wig shape. But anyway, I like that. I like that. That looks really clean. So let's try to do the shoulder and the arm a little bit more. Let's see. All right. Yeah, I think that looks good. I think I did the boobs pretty well. I think they're a little too low. Nah, they should be straight. They should be straight, I think. Because let me see if the midline is kind of like right here. I guess they could kind of be, I guess it kind of be like right here-ish. Let's try that right quick. Let me erase that. Yeah, that way it looks like it's kind of got a little bit of like a droop to it, I guess. Again, I don't study jiggle physics or anything, but I'm just kind of guesstimating. But yeah, I like that pose. Let me see. I think this is gonna be really cool. I almost said really hot. That would have been such would have been so corny for me to say, but I think this is gonna look really cool. Um, think I really challenged myself in a lot of ways for this, but also kept it kind of simple, short, sweet, and to the point. So I think that's good. I think it's good to not like overdo it, but it's also good to like challenge yourself. Yeah, I think this pose right here is probably gonna like carry the whole dang piece. For real, for real. And maybe her backside. I guess this should be like a kind of peach shape. Yeah, there we go. And then this will kind of go down a little bit. All right. And again, this will probably be a shorter stream. I can make these thighs a little bit thicker, like I said earlier. But yeah, this will probably be a shorter live just because I'm only doing Jean Grey and Phoenix. and I'm not doing a background for the or like I'll do a background, but it's not gonna be a fully rendered like Clintar background. I think I'll save that for when I bring out Blade, maybe. Like I might do a whole separate thing once Blade drops. All right, let me see. Let me see if I know how to draw a foot. No, I do not. Oh, dang. There are certain things that I'm just like, bro, I should definitely be able to draw this. And I'm like, bro, I so do not know how to draw this. Okay, so let me try to break it down into shapes, right? So I think I kind of had this right the first time. I also didn't. Because like if that's the back of the foot, right? This would kind of go in and oh geez, I feel like I ruined the foot. No, wait. I something about that is right, and something about that is just wrong entirely. So the foot will kind of come in a little bit, and then it'll kind of yeah. I think that's part of the problem. And then maybe like this is hard. I think it would have probably came a little bit more inward. Like maybe that's part of the problem. Eh, it don't have to be perfect, but I would prefer it to be. Oh, wait, you know what? I got an idea. Let me just grab a shoe right quick, and I'll just reference the shoe. Now, shoes aren't perfect for, you know, representing a foot, but it does have the same shape to like hold the the feet. So if there was any shape you should get, the closest thing outside of an actual foot would be the shoe. So yeah, it kind of has like that round sole, another round sole, and then they both kind of like come in. And then if it were like that, then I guess it would kind of come up from like here, and then I guess the muscle would kind of triangulate downward, I guess. That looks a little bit better. It looks like something. I don't know, dude. This is actually just difficult. But it's something like that. Same thing with the other one, I guess. It'll kind of be like right there, whoop, and then bring that in a little bit, and then triangulate. I'd say that looks all right. That looks pretty all right. Oh man, I like the dynamic right here. I really do. They about fill up all the space. The only thing I didn't do was like actually draw her face. I did like everything but draw her face. Oh crap. My bad. Okay, so let me see. Hold on a sec. I'm trying to. Dang, where did my reference? What did I do with my references? Okay, the PlayStation app. That's what it was. Okay, so now I'm gonna actually draw Phoenix's face. Whoops. Let me pull this in a little bit because these are kind of sectioned off a little bit. And again, she's kind of got like a stern face. It's not like angry, but it's like just like a neutral expression. And she's pretty much just fire. So it's not like she's got like a full on detailed face. She's very much so like a silhouette. All right, and I'm gonna kind of try to replicate what I did with Jean Grey's eyes. I feel like her eyes are a little bit big though. I don't like what I did with her lips. Let me see. Let me see if I could like redraw the face though. So if I put that down a little bit, I'm just like lowering the opacity, just just so I can get it like closer to completion. All right, let's do one more layer and then I think I'll be done with like the base layer and stuff to Phoenix. So I think the eyebrows are a little bit low. So let's like kind of raise them a bit. I feel like they should be like right here-ish. Let's see. And then like the actual eyes should kind of be like right, kind of like that. Like, I feel like I made them ever so slightly too big earlier. The nose should probably come in a little bit more, like maybe right here-ish. And then like mouth should probably be at more of an angle, something like that. And then the chin, like there-ish. Something like that. Something like that. Feel like all of these can be raised a little bit more. So let me try that actually. Let me see if I raise that eyeball a little bit. Control D. I'm not sure if I like that better or not. What the heck? Why can't I not? Ah, whatever. Um, let me flip it. Is it even flip? Yeah, her face definitely looks a little mushed in. Um, it's definitely that left side is a big part of it. Cause like, yeah, that should definitely be up a little bit higher. And I could even control T. Yeah, I feel like that's a lot better. Okay, control D. I'm actually not even sure if that's better. No, that's definitely not better. Maybe doesn't necessarily be need to be higher, just like a little bit like closer in, maybe? Ew, no. All right, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I don't think it's broke. So I'm gonna I'm gonna keep it like that for right now. I think the hairline might be a little like up a little too high, maybe. Regardless, I think for the most part this looks fine. Um, so I'm oof. Like Jean Grey herself actually looks a little rough, but I'm going to lower the opacity on her a little bit and then just kind of redraw her like one more time. And then after I do that, then I'll probably just go ahead and lock in the overall kind of outline and stuff for that, like for most like both of the characters. And I think she should be looking towards her direction. I think that would be a little bit better. All right, so now I don't think I really need to look at the reference anymore. I think I'll just go for it. Oof. But yeah, I'm gonna try to just make this my own. So let me hit P, hit that 4. Oh, jeez. Oh, wait. I'm on the wrong brush. That's why I'm tripping. Okay. But yeah, again, she's kind of got these thin brows. All right. And then the nose would probably be a little bit closer to like, because this would be like the center. This would be like the middle. So I guess the nose would kind of come in a little bit more, maybe. And then I guess this brow ridge would kind of go up to like right there. Let me see. She's got a little bit of a frown. Like I said, she's not particularly like frowned up. It's more just like a resting bitch face, I guess. Let me see. All right, so yeah, right here. Okay, something about it's definitely that left side, but something doesn't seem right about that. So I'm probably gonna have to like, oof. I'm gonna have her looking in the other direction right here, like towards the actual like Phoenix Force. Okay. Again, just kind of like strong, almost oppressive, just look to her. All right, now this I really don't like it. I don't. Let me see, because I'm assuming. I guess the jaw would kind of be like right there. Same thing with this. So this would kind of curve inward a little bit. Give me one sec. All right, now if I control T that, yes, yes, that is much better. Control D, and then I'll like redraw this a little bit. Hit P. I'm gonna bring it down ever so slightly. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay, that's a little bit better. I think I like that a little bit better. Let me open up the chat again, cause like I haven't checked the chat in a good minute. All right. So let's keep this party going. All right, I'm gonna bring out the like the jaw a little bit more. And again, she's kind of got this kind of ovular like face that kind of point like it kind of like points at the end, kind of like a triangle. So yeah, now we're just gonna have like these confident brush strokes around the hair, just make it really loose. All right, and then from here to here, kind of like these loose, kind of wavy parts of the hair. Yeah, yeah, this is looking pretty nice. And then I guess the neck will kind of like I don't even know how to describe it, but that's pretty much how the neck would look. Kind of just fill in this like under boob right here. Let me round these off at the top. Yeah. All right. And then I'm just trying to make things a little bit more consistent all across the board. Let me bring this down a little bit. Okay. And at this point, I can increase my brush size again since I'm getting to like the thicker parts of it. And I just kind of have to remember where all these little marks and things are. Yeah, I think it's getting there. I think the outlining will be fun. I think the hardest part of this might, well, okay, the hardest part was actually just drawing them, honestly. But I think the hardest part will actually just probably be the coloring. At least for the rest of this, that's probably going to be the hardest part. Because you know what? So far, the hardest part has been just trying to get Jean Grey's like actual fit to look right. Other than that, it wasn't too hard. It was nothing that I haven't done before. But yeah, we're just kind of going over and just outlining this one more time. I might not even do certain parts of this, just like the like major parts that I need to like connect everything together with. So yeah, this will kind of go in or out and in like that towards the bottom. And some of this I'm just kind of like I said, I abandoned the actual reference images at this point. Like you see, I haven't had the reference pulled up on the screen since dang near the stream started. So, just really just winging it. Let's see. So I'm gonna bring this down. Okay, okay. All right. Dang, I didn't turn my stream chat off again, or like can't see it. Okay, so there we go. All right, now let me. Whoops. Okay, okay, okay. All right, and I think for the most part, that is looking amazing. Yeah, I think that's looking amazing. Let me just kind of get this like Phoenix Force part right here looking a little bit more resolved. All right. I think for the most part, that looks really good. I think this should be downward a little bit actually. But yeah, let me erase that. But yeah, let me get in on like some of the metallic portions of this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's looking pretty nice. I can't wait to like actually finalize this and get into like the kind of nitty gritty of everything. And you lock in that Phoenix. This part right here kind of feels like a Batman design. Like even before I put two and two together that was a Phoenix, this looks kind of like a Batman design. And her eye, I'm glad I'm seeing it from right here because it's like looks just ever so slightly off. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. And I'm gonna do the same thing for Phoenix. I know I've kind of drawn Phoenix like 100 times over at this point, but I'm gonna do it again anyway. So kick rocks. All right, let's see. I'm gonna lower that a little bit. lower the face just a bit. And I'm just gonna try to go in a little bit. So one, I think her nose is down just a bit too low, and I feel like that'll definitely help me. And if her nose is right there, her eyebrow should be right. Yes, yes, yes. I feel like that's already changing up a lot. Let's erase that right there. In fact, let me change my brush size actually. I feel like that'd help. Oh wait, that's the eraser again. Yeah, let me change my brush size to like 4. Yeah, and that way she looks a little bit more enticing, I guess. Because before she still looked cool, but it's like now it's more like I don't know. Let me see, the eye would be kind of like right there. I would kind of curve over just a little bit. So I think I still drew this eye a little too low, but I think this is definitely a better look. So yeah, yeah. Let me see. Okay, see, something about this eye is not doing it for me. Like, I think the actual drawing of the eye looks great. It's just maybe it like needs to be tilted. Let me flip it. I think it just needs to be tilted and maybe moved up just a little bit. Or maybe not even moved up a little bit. I think it might have just needed to be tilted. Let me go back. I do like it up that high. Let me go back, Control T, and then lower it. Raise it a little bit more, Control Z. I'm just trying to see if it looks better higher or lower. I kind of like it better a little bit lower. Let me try it off to the side just a little bit more. And I know these are like nitpicks, but it's kind of bothering me. So yeah, I think that's good. I think that's pretty much good. Let me flip it back around. Yeah, yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, yeah, I'll leave it like that. Well, this is like actually bothering me though. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's perfect. I think that's perfect. So now the lips, I think the lip was a little too high now that I'm looking at it too. I had to kind of go downward. And then, like, I don't know. Because look. If the head is tilted down, right, and the lips are like right there, then yeah, the lips should like go down. And then there should be like that right there, pretty much. Yeah, yeah, that looks a little bit more sassy. Um, Let me try to like really flesh it out a bit more. Honestly, I think that looks pretty fleshed out as it is, honestly. Yeah, yeah, I think that's good. I think we good on the lips and just overall, like Phoenix. I think we're pretty good on Phoenix. for the most part. I think her hair would come in a little bit right here, and I think that's another thing that might have been messing up the piece. But yeah, and then let's just kind of outline some of these, just establish where the fire and everything is going. Yeah, yeah, I think that looks really sick. And then her neck would be kind of tilted, so I think it'd be kind of like, yeah, I think kind of go like that, something like that. Yeah, 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 yeah. That is phenomenal. So let's bring the shoulder out just a little bit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that looks freaking phenomenal. Let's see where these boobs would go. Like kind of like right here. Again, this is kind of like a little rough just for the fact that, see, I think this one might be coming out a little bit too far. Let me kind of do it like that. I'm not sure actually. I feel like that's, yeah, I feel like that's definitely, it should be a little bit higher. They should be a little bit higher. I'm finna spend like so much time on these freaking boobs, dude. But as long as they look nice, I guess that's all that matters. Let me erase that a little bit. I can't tell if that helped or not. I genuinely can't tell if that helped. I think it did. I mean, I changed it for a reason, right? Right? Let me go back. Let me go back right quick. I like that one better. I kind of like that one better. Maybe if I, whoops. I mean, they look fine for the most part, so I might not even care to like try that hard anyway. But I just want to make them. All right, now at this point, I'm just kind of gooning. All right, let me go ahead and finish this off. So let's see. Ooh, how's the chat looking? Let me see how much time I got left, or not time I got left, but how much um how much time is in this stream. So I've been going for 2 hours, 18 minutes. I think I'm close to like halfway done. I probably, this is probably gonna be like 4 hours, like I said. Maybe five. I don't think it shouldn't go to like nine. It'll probably go to like 8:30 at the latest. But I think I'm gonna do the outline, and then once I'm through with the outline, I'll take a lunch break. So give me just a second. All right, hold on. Turn this one on because I'm getting kind of hot. Okay. All right. Now that I've gotten my, I mean it's two characters, but technically my one character. Now that I've gotten them drawn, I can go ahead and just like tighten up the actual drawing. So I'm gonna start my outline. Let's see. I'm gonna start a new vector layer. I'm gonna start a new folder on top of that. Uh, and then I'm gonna type JG for Jean Grey. Okay, this is already stressing me out. So let's go with a size 20 brush. Let's see how the size 20 fares. Maybe I shouldn't do that. But where do I start? I'll start right here. Oh geez, this is the wrong brush. All right, let's try size 20 again. Okay, that's pretty thick, but I think it'll be fine. Think we're off to a decent start with that. Maybe. I'm actually not sure. I'll let it rock for right now. I'll change it if need be, but I do not like how not straight that one was. So I'll just redraw that one. And then, right. See, let me try this. Because like some of this is not looking right to me. And hey, maybe that's just how I am, but I'm like, bro, this does not look right. Let's see. All right, and then that should come out a bit. That should end that off. Okay, so now let me keep going with that size 20 actually. Maybe like right here. Okay, not for that, not for that part. Maybe like right here. I might just change the brush size for this part specifically, but I'll leave that. I'll leave that. Okay. All right, so let me see. Should this part be the same too? All right. I'll probably lower the let me go to size 15. Okay, okay. Yeah, let me bring some of this down. I'm gonna go with size 17 for this part. All right. Legs looking kind of nice. And I'm just kind of going wherever I kind of feel like for this and just making sure I get all the different parts of it. Okay. Let me go with size 12 for this part right here. Okay. Sorry, I'm really like kind of focused right now. So I'm not really saying too much, but okay. Might have to tweak that a little bit later, but I think for right now that's all right. Okay. Let me bring that up a little bit. Okay. All right, all right, all right. So now we got some thigh action going down there. Let's see. I'm gonna go with size 15 for this part right here. For that little under boob. That looks great. Right here. All right, let me go with size 12 for this one. All right. Okay. Let me go with the arm. Kind of want that a little bit thicker. All right. Okay. Oh, my neck's starting to hurt. Okay. Whoops. Now, let's see. I'm gonna go with size 15 for this end and just bring that on down. Yeah, I think that's fine. Bring that over here. That looks great. And then, I'm just trying to get like the main kind of outline parts of this. And then I'm gonna go into like the actual facial features and stuff like that. But right now I just want like the like main parts of this, if that makes sense. All right. Want to make sure not to make these fingers too big. I don't like I did how I did the thumb actually, so just kind of trying to. Sorry, like I said, I'm kind of locked in. Okay, so that one's done. That one, that one, and then this one. All right, so now let me bring this in. Okay. And I think this one kind of just stops right here. I don't think there's like a real, like, true ending. All right. Oof. Jeez. I'm tired. No, I'm not. All right. Let's go. Oh, no, 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 no. That not right there. Okay. So now I'm gonna go into like the face portions. So let's do this right here. Let's do this. Maybe I shouldn't have done that first. Let me actually do the face. I think if I start with the face, that'll make everything a lot easier for me. So let's go into like the nose as like the starting point. All right. Let's do the lips. Nah, that's more of a frown. I don't like that. This seems like more of a, it's got like a little pout to it, but it still seems like a normal kind of facial expression, like a neutral face. And she does look a little bit more serious than maybe I want her to, but I think it's fine for the most part. Now around here, I want like a nice triangular shape. I think that looks decent. Yeah, especially once I put the like little plates around it, I think that'll be fine. Now let's go into like the eyes. I'm just kind of trying to use my like pressure sensitivity to just draw this out. That's a little too big. Probably make this one a little bit bigger, but for the most part, I think this looks good right now. And just draw this eye. I'm so glad I'm doing all this in the correct layer because, bruh, if I did all this and I had to start over, I would so lose it. Like, I would entirely lose it. And I don't like how the left eye looks. Maybe if I tilt it. Okay, I'm kind of just being lazy. Let me delete that. But yeah, I'm gonna hit P again. And there we go. All right, so let me hit that size. I think I'll do size 10 for this. Yeah. Yeah, and I like how that curves in like that. Okay, let me go back to my size 7 and do these eyebrows. See, she looks a little too menacing on that. Like, not, she looks a little bit more angry than I want. So let me lower these eyebrows just a little bit. I think that looks a little bit more kind of compassionate, less angry. All right, all right, all right, all right. Let me hit P. All right, okay. So let me do that kind of brow ridge right here. Let me get this kind of headdress going. Okay. And then I'm gonna put this right here on the top. Again, she kind of looks like Wonder Woman how I drew it, but let's see. Right about there. Let me try to draw that actual like Phoenix portion of it again. Again, it's kind of parallel with like the contour of the band or whatever it is, but let's see. I'm gonna draw it all as like one thing. I think that'll make it a little bit easier. I feel like that could be a little bit higher, so uh no. Uh uh uh. I think that looks fine. Yeah, that looks fine. And I can like erase certain parts of it later. But yeah, let me go back to my size 8. Yeah, let me go size 8. And I'm just gonna loop that around, which is a little bit different from the sketch, but that's fine. As long as it's in there, as long as it looks kind of organic. I don't like how I did that. It looks way too choppy. There we go. That looks nice. Looks really loose, pretty fluid. So, all right. Let's continue on. Let me actually bring down these plates to like her face. Something about it's not looking right. Yeah, I think that's a little low. See, I think that's better. I think that's a lot better. Yeah, yeah, that's better. Again, not looking for perfection here, just a solid drawing. All right, now we're gonna do that like Phoenix portion of the chest. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. After I'm through with this, I'm hopping straight on the game. Straight on the game. Okay. Oof. I got most of her mapped out. Jeez, I almost feel a little lightheaded off of that. Okay, now let me go with a size 10 again and just kind of draw the neck. Draw this side right here. Okay, I feel like that's a little too low. All right. Now let me draw this little whatever that is right there. That's a little too small. All right, bring it down ever so much. Bring it back up here. And I think that looks fantastic, actually. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of, yeah, I think that looks good. I think this is a really nice drawing of her. Okay, I think the shoulder should come up to like right here, and then that should, I think that looks decent. I think that looks decent. All right, now let's bring that out a bit. Let's bring this down a bit. This down a bit. And just erase a little bit of that with my vector erase. Same with this side, and then I'm going to, that would be the behind the thing. So let me go with my size 8 again. Let me, yeah, I think that looks pretty well. Let me actually do it like this. Let me do this and then this part. I could probably be brought over a little bit, like both of them. In fact, let me turn this a little bit, bring it over, and then just kind of bring this over. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. That looks pretty freaking sick. Something about that I don't like. Something about that I genuinely don't like. I think it's probably be the other way around for this. Like this should be more prominent, and then this should like come around just a little bit more. Yeah. And then I think I could like tilt both of them. So like, oh geez, how'd that even happen? So yeah, I'm gonna grab it and just move it in that direction, and I think that's better. I think that's way better. Okay. A few more things to her, and then she's almost done. And then I'll move on to the actual Phoenix, and then that should be pretty much it in terms of like the outline. Let me sip my coffee. Oh man, it was rough. I think it's an amazing looking drawing, but it's still rough. And it's 5:30. It started at 3, so it's been 2.5 hours. All right, let's proceed. So I'm gonna, yeah, while I have this size 7 out, let me actually go ahead and just make that little green portion. Let me go ahead with a size 8 and do this right here. Yeah, yeah. And then I think this part right here would probably actually go right about here and then go down there like that. And while I'm doing that, actually, let me redraw this vector line. I think that looks, yeah, that looks way better. That looks way better. Okay, so we're almost through with golly, she looks really nice. I ain't gonna lie to you. She looks really nice. Am I tripping? Am I glazing myself? I think she looks really nice. I think the arm looks a little wonky, but I don't really know how to fix it, so I'm gonna just leave it like that. But I didn't say that. It looks amazing. All right, so let me try to get these knuckles down and just clean up this fist portion. Let me go with a bigger brush for like the outline. Let me go with like size 12. Let me rotate it a bit just so I can like tell what I'm doing. But all right, there's that. And I'll do the same for like this portion right here. All right. And now let me go with a smaller brush than that. Let me go with like my size 8. All right, all right, all right. And then let me do that thumb. Okay. So, okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting tired. If you couldn't tell. 2, and then 3. I'm probably just gonna have to like change up this fist a little bit. And then 4. I think that, yeah, right about there should do that. That's a pretty nice looking fist. Uh, mm, mm, hold on a sec, because this would kind of be like, yeah, yeah, I think that'd be about it. Then we'd have that right there. Decent looking fist. Not my best, but not my worst. And there we go. Voila. Oh crap, I didn't do the legs. Oh my gosh, but it looks so sick. Oh, the coloring on this is gonna be a breeze. Oh, I didn't do the knee either. Freak. The coloring should be a breeze, and the actual Phoenix character on the left should be relatively easy just because she doesn't have like any fine details. It's like I said, she's pretty much a silhouette. Oh, jeez. I'm so tired. But this looks great. Let's keep going. All right, so I'm gonna hit this with a P. Uh, uh, yeah, I'll leave it like that. Uh, okay. So that knee is done. So all I really need to do now is that the little bands on the side, and then I have to do the stand, the freaking stand. Um, I really don't feel like. But let's go. All right, let me stop playing. She looks great now. I really can't complain about that part. Huh. Oh man. I know I hardly got sleep last night, but it feels like I got even less sleep than I actually got. All right, yeah, I'm just trying to map everything out, just get this how I want it. Right. And I don't really know. Actually, no, I have references. Because I was finna say I don't really know how her like shoes come down, but that's something I could easily like just pull up on my phone if I can find where my reference photos are. Sorry, I got distracted. Um, let's see. I definitely, yeah. Okay, so I have some photos where she's like showing the shoes from like the back kind of angle. So yeah, they're kind of flat in all honesty. So I might be able to get away with that for real, for real. I think if I just like bring in this part and like maybe this part, or maybe if I like brought this out a little bit, I think I might be cooking with something because the heel looked a little flat, but I think that looks good. I think that looks good for the most part. If not, then I can just kind of fix it up later. But uh, and then they kind of go and like raise up it around this heel area, and then it kind of goes down like this. I think that's how it should pretty much look. If not, oh well, I'm tired. I'm so ready to go on the Phoenix and then just color this. Oh yeah. P. Okay, so we got that part. Let me lower the brush size a little bit. Just bring this in. All right. So we cooling. I think she looks phenomenal. I think I outdid myself with this, and I am the greatest artist who ever lived. Not actually, but actually. Oh, freak. I didn't do that other part. That's fine, though. Let me wrap this up. So, all I got to do now, if I'm not mistaken, is just like do these little bands or whatever. And then I can move on to the actual like Phoenix, the stand. If y'all don't know what a stand is, man, I please watch JoJo. It's like such a great anime from like start to finish, which technically it's not finished. It okay, it's a weird anime, but it it is definitely a great one. I would highly recommend you watch that show. All right, so I might have to clean that up a bit, but it's getting there. So I don't like how that look. It kind of feels like I'm trying to limit, like constrain myself to the page. That felt a little bit better because it felt kind of the same, but it felt a little bit more fluid. Like I was confident I wouldn't hit the side of the page. So I think that one works a little bit better. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, let me zoom in just a bit. Ah, crap. I don't like how that was. Does that look good? Oh yeah, that looks amazing. That looks amazing. So I think I did a good job. I think she looks phenomenal. The only thing I'd say is that if I would have made her bigger, there's a lot more detail I could have put into it. But one, I'm not the biggest with like details and fine detail and everything. And also, you know, I think the pose overall is better, even if I didn't get to do that. So I think that's fine. I think it's fine that I got to do it like that. There's some things I can like clean up, like let me just erase, like vector erase this part right here. Ooh, ooh. Let me, because that did not look well. Did that work? Did that work? It kind of worked. I could fix that up later, but uh, yeah. Let me control S and hope this software doesn't crash because I did just do a lot, and I mean a lot of drawing. Oh, it did save. Okay, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Okay, so we have Phoenix, and let me make sure, or Jean Grey. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jean Grey looks great. That's what it looks like without the like undersketch of it. But I think she looks fantastic. I think I got her fit down pretty well. So now we just have to do the actual like Phoenix, and then we're almost home free. Okay, so I'm gonna let me move her ever so slightly closer to her counterpart. And let me check before I proceed, let me actually check the chat and the stream and everything. Okay, so almost 2 hours in. I'm so tired, bro. I'm like genuinely so tired. You know what I might do? I might have this as like a shorter stream, and then I might not actually color it. I think I'll have this as a short stream, and then once Blade comes, I'll do him too. And then I'll do like a full-on composition with them. Feels kind of like a cop out though. Like in all honesty, but at the same time, I do want to kind of knock these out. I think that might be what I do. I think I'll just like do that, and then I'll finish up last week's stream, and then I'll like save this drawing for Blade. That might be the move. Because like I can get a much more cohesive color palette, and then I can also like actually just draw Blade. You know, yeah, that's gonna be the move. That's gonna be the move, fam. So I'm going to finish up Phoenix, and then I think I'll call the stream from there. Cause what did I say? This will end at like 6 or 7. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's do it like that. Not too many people in the stream right now, anyway. So, uh, I have to at least finish Phoenix though. Let's get that out of the way. This will be some compensation for last week because I did a freaking 7.5 hour stream. But I'm gonna pull up one more reference of like Phoenix, and then I'm gonna go from there because I'm not gonna lie, I feel like these boobs are off. I really do. She's turned to the side. Oh, this sucks. Sorry, let me look at let me look at my references. You know what? Let me just maybe I should just roll with it. Maybe that's the problem. Oh wait. I think I have a pretty nice reference. Okay. I think I see the issue. I think I see the issue. So before I proceed, as well as I did with this, let me turn this to blue right quick. Let me go to the Phoenix. The top of the chest, right? It would kind of it would give a different angle. So if it's pinched in like that, right? This would kind of be the rib cage, and the rib cage would kind of go like that. So the rib cage would stop right about here. Um, and if that's the case, because this should be out a little bit more, and then sorry, I'm just trying to conceptualize this. But yeah, then that'll come in right here. And then if this is the middle of the chest, right, this should be over a little bit more. So say we have this, this will kind of be the breast. So the breast should be over just ever so slightly more. And then if that's there, I think that looks a little bit better because it's not poking out as much. Oh, that's the vector erase. Um, so yeah, let me just see. This is I would have done this so much better if I was like still practicing like my gesture drawings and stuff. I would have had that like so down packed, but hey, it is what it is. Let me see. Something's still not right about that. Uh I'm like tripping so hard over these boobs. I mean, honestly, I think they look better now though, but I feel like something's still off. Like maybe I should like oh my gosh. Actually, this should kind of go like that. It should go downward and then let's erase that right quick actually. Because yeah, it wouldn't be as like prominent, I feel like. So let's let me increase the size of this. Something is like genuinely bothering me about this, and I can't put my finger on what it is. But honestly, I think that looks way better. Maybe not. I don't know. She's just gonna have some titties. I don't care. I really don't care at this point. So let's go ahead and just draw her and just like finalize this drawing. And then I think after that, I think I'll end it at that. So this will probably be my shortest stream. I think it kind of needs to be. This stream probably could have ran for another 2 hours, but regardless, it would have been a relatively shorter stream. I think I'll just save the rest of this for like when Blade comes out, and then I'll put both of them into like one piece. You feel me? So let me go with a size 15. She's gonna be like Let me go with a size 17, actually. I don't think she needs to be like size 20 like Jean is, but what did I just do? Why am I on the eraser tool? Yeah, size 20. All right. And then should I do the butt first? Like, bro, the butt's right there. I gotta do the butt, dog. Yeah. That was the horniest thing ever. Let me stop. Okay, and then we'll bring that. Oh, God, jeez. We'll bring that down. I do like that though. I do like the shape that that made. That was very fluid. All right, so I'm going to. You want like really loose strokes too. You don't want to like. I think that looks good. That's a nice. That's some nice thigh action right there. Ooh, oh, okay, okay. I see you. I see you, girl. Okay, let's see. And then I like to skip around. I hate to say I'm ADHD like that because I don't know that, but I'm just kind of ADD like that. So trying to figure out like the arm placement. All right, let me erase that because I didn't like how that one started. Like I feel like it should be like really round right here. I feel like that's a very integral part of this pose, but at the same time, something about it is irking my nerves. Okay, so let's bring that down a little bit. Yeah, I like the shape of the arm. Ooh, okay, I feel like that is definitely coming out a little too far. Ah, crap. Jean freaking Grey. Okay. Okay. Let me bring that up just a little bit. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, okay, okay. We getting there. We getting there. Let me hit P. I think that looks pretty good. Um, so now we're gonna get to these dreaded boobs that I've been stressing over. Actually, no. Let me map out this while I'm talking about it. Because the chest will be like kind of right here. Yeah. Okay. All right, now let's go into like the facial features. And her nose realistically should be similar to Jean Grey's since they are the same person. I'm assuming that's how it works. See, they say the same person, but I don't know if it's like a Vegito type same person. But like they're literally split off into two different people. Like it seems like a ghost that's just following her around. Like I'm so serious right now. Let me see. I think that could be a little bit like lower, maybe. I feel like that's kind of like how that was going actually. I like how that looks in general. Let me see how that looked. Uh, cause I kind of how it looked when it was like a little bit like lower of an angle. Nah, yeah, yeah. I like it. I like the original better. All right, let's go. So we're getting closer to the end of this. Will it be a 2 hour stream? That's kind of lame if it is. But my purpose for these streams is to get some practice drawing where otherwise I wouldn't have, and to help me create a video, like a different kind of video for the day. So it's not just like my normal recording videos. So from that standpoint, I accomplished what I set out to do. As long as I started the stream and ended the stream, made my artwork, yada yada whoop whoop, I've accomplished what I needed to accomplish. But yeah, man. Okay, so now the titties. Let's do this. This might actually help me a little bit. I think this would go like right here, and then this one would go like. Okay, actually, yeah, let's do that. Did I do it? Did I actually do it? Is that an actual decent set of titties? Looks good to me. I think the only thing is I didn't like connect a lot of this right. So I have to like go back and like this area right here and just that looks awkward, but yeah, that looks fine. That looks fine. And then I'll just like erase this midline right here with my vector erase. And honestly, I think that's in good boobies. Those look good. Yes. Oh, I didn't do the rest of the legs. Freak. Oh, oh my God. I thought I was done or almost done. Them butt cheeks look nice though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't even. Okay, in my defense, I do say some sus stuff about the dudes that I draw to, if that makes anybody feel any better. I'm gonna keep doing it, dog. Post all your thirsty comments in the comment section. Let's do that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna elongate this foot just ever so slightly. Yeah, that looks dope. That looks dope. She kind of got small feet, but I think I can get away with it because she's a woman. Like, not to say all women have small feet or anything like that, but some of y'all, some of y'all got like size sixes and belows, dog. I ain't gonna hold you. So in women's, like, I'm just trying to have some nice, quick, confident brush strokes. That was not confident. But yeah, in like this little flaming Johnny Test hair. All right. I have a character with like flaming hair, and like I feel like he was inspired like unconsciously by Johnny Storm. But then I see hair like this, and I'm like, dang, did I do it? It was actually most likely probably just Johnny Test more so than anything. But you know, there's no telling what little old me was inspired by at the time. Okay, let's do. I actually do want to get these little details right here. Let me move that a little bit more. All right, all right, all right, all right. So, dang, I don't like how that looked. The only thing I don't like about doing this and then like putting it with the blade drawing whenever I do it is that I won't be able to like put this. I mean, you know what? Yeah, I can actually put this on Patreon. It's just that it won't be like a full on drawing. I'll still have the time lapse though, I guess, or half the time lapse because I forgot to record a lot of it at first. So that's interesting to say the least. All right, I need this finger to be bigger. The middle finger is the largest finger, so it won't always extend past the other finger, but it's something to keep in mind. So I think that looks nice. I think that looks really nice. And now I'll just like finish off them butt cheeks. That did not sound well at all. All right, let me continue. So the butt will kind of come out like right. Oh, wrong brush. The butt will kind of like come down here. And I feel like this is not how that pose would actually look, but I do like that. Let me stop saying that. Okay. Oh crap. And my bad. The way my laptop and my brush was set up, I could not like maneuver how I wanted to. Trying to like get this to come out, and then like my I was gonna say something about my stroke game, but why is like everything I say extra sus when I'm on a live stream? Like I really, it don't matter who I'm drawing, male, female, it just always sounds sus. I kind of like that, not the sus thing, but the actual drawing. All right, and that kind of looks a little bit bigger, but it also kind of looks like it's coming out into space. So let's see. I think, I think, I think I might be done. I think I'll just put like a little line just to indicate that there is like a little hairline going down. Yeah. But honestly, I think I'm cooking. Let me see, Jean Grey. Where? Oh, wait. I know what happened. Yeah, let me turn that off and then, for the love of God, please tell me I did that in the right layers. It's got to be in the right layers, right? Ain't no way I'm tripping. Oh, yeah. Oh, they look dope. They look so dope. Yeah. So that's pretty much Phoenix and Jean Grey. I could probably move them boobs over a little bit more, but if I feel like that's a problem next time I look at it, then I'll just worry about it. But I'm gonna control S, and while that's happening, I'm gonna check my chat if anybody's even here. Anyways, um, so yeah, let's check how long this stream was. Uh, where we at? 3 hours, 13 minutes. All right, so it's almost 3 hours, 15. I told y'all this was probably going to be a 4 hour live stream. Now, I didn't think it would be like this, but you know, it is what it is. Now, before I close this out, I do want to bring that bosom up a little bit. That ain't what I wanted. Yeah, let me bring that up ever so slightly. Do I like that better? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to like see if I want to like fix up any of this before I like go on. Feel like that one definitely needs to be, yeah, that definitely needs to be up a little bit higher. Um, Maybe that's up too high. Uh, mm, yeah, that's fine. Control S. Yeah, and then I think we good, honestly. So yeah, that's the outline portion of this Phoenix drawing. Like I said, when Blade comes out, I will finish it. I'll just like clean up a few other like last spots. But yeah, anybody that, tuned in or is gonna tune into this later, thanks for stopping by and watching my live, but I'll save this for another day and have a short live this week. So you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. And that's the end of the stream. 3 hours, 16 minutes. But yeah, peace.